if you think of the seesaw effect of every other country having two currencies to manage, and the US being the liquidity spigot, dollars in, dollars out, dollars in, dollars out, that all of the seesaws doing this is why the global business cycle is correlated.
Yeah.
They're all either strengthening their currencies or weakening their currencies, which is creating elements of the cycle. It's not, the cycle is the credit cycle, but it's all the same thing. This liquidity cycle is the dollar cycle, is the business cycle, and it's all driven by this need for a debt-based system to survive.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Raoul Pal discusses Bitcoin and crypto. The founder is Raoul Pal, and Real's Chief Executive Officer vision and an international macro investor based on his most recent price forecasts for Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, which he describes as a tested and proven weapon. According to Protocol Call Pal, Bitcoin is set up for a 2- or 3-fold move from its previous record-setting high of $69,000. His Solana predictions are significantly less conservatively. He predicts the indigenous Solana symbol platform on the blockchain that uses a proof-of-stake instrument to give savvy contract efficiency could increase by as much as 47x from the last cycle's lows to reach staggering amounts of $750 and $1,000 per. Similarly, he is enthusiastic about Ethereum, which, according to him, Dix will quickly hit and quickly surpass new records before the end of the bull market in 2025, while Buddy recognizes the requirement for be careful when making predictions, especially in light of the degree of concerns regarding the economy, and he believes that the macroclimate is unstable. These are reasonable predictions. Anchored his faith in the stability of the market for cryptocurrencies is supported by his previous observations for a strong bull market. Pal's thesis, crypto positively trending market likewise, lays on his hopes regarding quantitative easing measures or more cowbell. He fondly refers to it, based on Raoul's 2008. The worldwide financial crisis and subsequent actions taken by banks to save the worldwide economy from complete ruin made it a foregone conclusion that they continuously need to act the hero. He explains that one way to print more money is why QE now occurs on a regular basis carried out by every major company in the world's C banks. And it will continue until the customary monetary framework persists with an infinite cowbell and all the promotion around the spot. Bitcoin, what's more, Ethereum ETF's Buddy is sure that the following 12 to year and a half will be very favorable for the cryptocurrency as a whole industry. And lots of things Raoul Pal discusses, so please watch the video to end. And share this video, and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
Something more profound happened. And I've gone through this in the past as well. And you went through it very clearly, which is you suddenly realize you've got to stop analyzing how you want the world to be.
Yes.
And see it for what it is. We both got to, in different parts of the equation, the conclusion that things were so bad that it was actually creating opportunity. And it wasn't the way people thought about it, which is the world is going to end. It's It's so bad that everybody's entirely incentivized to not let it fall apart. That was a huge realization to me, along with the realization that, I think you and I had together in discussions, was that if 87% of world trade is in US dollars and the world is 50% of GDP, more, 100%, 200% of GDP in debt in dollar terms, in dollars alone, let alone currencies, then the dollar is everything. And nothing else mattered. Just the simple thing is, everyone says this about China, and I notice you fighting the good fight, and another mutual friend, Michael Nicoletis. You're trying to explain to people, it's okay, so the Chinese are going to de-dollarize. How are they going to pay for all of the dollar debts that are in their system? That's the entire Chinese property market and most of the private sector. They're going to nuke it all.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly the outcome they don't want. So that
Well, and if they did that, if they did do that, that pushes the dollar higher, not lower.
Because there's a shortage of dollars, which is something
because there's an even more of a shortage of dollars.
Before
right?
we go into that dollar shortage, give me the synopsis for people who don't know. I mean, it's quite a famous video, and anybody watching this, just search Brent's name with dollar milkshake theory. There's some specific videos. It's become a very, very, very watched video, a very famous piece in its own right. But just give people the synopsis of what the thesis is, because we kind of talked around it. It's best to give them what it is.
In a firm for sudden investment decisions, 21 Shares filed a report with the Commission on Securities and Exchanges on Friday, May 31st in the late afternoon, to change its proposed location to Ethereum. Trade Exchanged Store ETF, and to eliminate AR put money into the application, a representative for AR's Invest later confirmed that the company chose not to move proceed with the cryptocurrency product by citing a need to reconsider its venture procedure. Concerns were expressed by the About the Crypto community the new product's short-term viability approved BF in June during an interview 5 U.S. Protections and Trade, Gary Gensler, chairman of the SEC, suggested that final approvals be delayed for Resource Supervisors ETF will take some time, said Jenner. The SEC presently can't seem to close down on statements regarding S. One registration from the applicants will invest AR, and 21 Shares remain in place as partners Bitcoin. This week's ETF was launched in January. Grave Business likewise investigates Universe Digital's. Anoka Brands can get a tokenized loan, raising funds for the acquisition of Topware, and the first reports from Bitcoin miners since they possessed the largest cryptocurrency withstand sudden turbulence in the past. Wall Street opened as a result of what marked schizophrenic U.S. employment statistics added to this problem. By a course in all coins which came thanks to market responses to a live Warren Kitty, a so-called investor, streamed it. Was befuddling to the point of setting off a risk of in front of U.S. expansion numbers, and from the following day, it wrote a portion of its most recent update to Wire Channel subscribers. QP referred to the upcoming prints of macro data that contained the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and the meeting of the Federal Reserve to decide policy of interest rates, followed by a live stream of Roaring Kitty, which had nearly 1 million viewers, at which point the price of GMD stock continued to fall. Probably wasn't a fluke that alt additionally, Mike coins began to collapse. Of a market cap of more than $40 billion. Still, the company saw local lows on BTC and Ether as an excellent buying opportunity, the decline based on upcoming Fed actions increasing the value of risk assets. Let's back to the Raoul Pal interview.
I want to hear your words of what this is, because I also think that, and you and I have talked about this, that this is part of the everything code. It's all part of the same thing. We all kind of picked up that it is what it is, but why are these assets going up? And why is a broken system doing that? That's, I think, the thing that people don't really understand. And why is it affecting the US less?
So something that I probably forgot to mention a few minutes ago was along this journey, and I don't remember when this was, but again, it was another one of those light bulb moments. It was around the same time that I was in that conference room playing with those pieces of paper. And I realized, I wasn't just looking at the US, is that at some point along the way, I discovered the Eurodollar market. And up until then, I probably knew it existed, but didn't really know what it was. And the fascinating thing is, since then, I have talked to so many super successful, extremely wealthy, top of the industry people who still don't know what it is or that it even exists, right? And so what the Eurodollar market, it's the market for dollars outside the United States, right? And the market for dollars, the size of the market for dollars outside the United States dwarfs the size of the market for dollars inside the United States. And so what that essentially tells you is the dollar is the world's currency. This is the currency that, and this is not, this is the other key part of it. There's two more key parts of it. the U.S. did not impose this on the rest of the world. This was agreed to at Bretton Woods. Now, I will say there probably from time to time, if countries ever really tried to start leaving the dollar system, if the market itself didn't stop them, I do think the U.S. militarily or economically would try to stop them. But they haven't made them do it up to this point. The world chose this coming out of World War II. Russia wanted to hold dollar balances in Europe, but they didn't want to hold it in U.S. banks, kind of for the same reasons that we've seen recently. The U.S. might take them. And so they started holding balances, in Europe. And then that led to other banks, doing transactions in dollars. And so long story short, since the 50s and 60s, banks, institutions, corporations have started using and borrowing and spending using dollars outside the United States. And so it is now the global currency. The second part of this that's very important to understand is all of the dollar debt. When I first came across the Eurodollar market, and then I realized they had all this dollar debt, I was like, yeah, but it sucks because they owe it all to the United States. Then I figured out they don't owe it to the United States. The U.S. didn't lend them all this money. They lent it to each other.
Former U.S. Trump is the president of the States, increasing his digital currency promotion as a feature of his 2024 official crusade, presently announcing his objective of becoming the president of crypto, as per to a recent report by Reuters that appeared on June 7th, referring to sources acquainted with the matter. Trump is said to have declared that would be the head of crypto at an event for fundraising in San Francisco, hosted by the craft's general partner, Tech and Ventures by David Sachs. It's a billionaire's dream. Trump reportedly raised money at the event, $12 million to help him promote preparations for the U.S. election on November 5th. Trump additionally repeated his plans to push crypto and his support the sector forward, while highlighting the intention of the Democratic Party to take the other way around, using harsh the regulations that the cryptocurrency industry, the country generally alludes to as only ill comes from enforcement-based regulation. Week after Joe, the present U.S. president, the crypto industry reacted negatively toward Biden. Industry following the Ving decision that would have overruled the U.S. protections and SEC employees of the Exchange Commission SAB No Accounting Bulletin 121 contentious crypto accounting issues requirements for institutions-based guidelines that crypto